What's up? And welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going.
Woo!
Yay.
So what's up? What's up, honey bunny?
Nothing much. What's happening, babe?
What you wearing there, yo?
It's my crypto shirt my mom got me.
Dang, yeah. I was wearing mine the other day.
I'm still looking into it.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer to open the account and do all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of crap to
know. A lot of research.
Better you than me.
Yeah.
And there's no way I would want to figure that out.
You know, I was just thinking, I was telling you yesterday, like there's all these different things that we're thinking, and I was kind of thinking about the crypto thing, and I was like, that is something where I don't have to worry about tenants. I don't have to worry about buying a car. I mean, there are other things that you need to worry about.
Like losing all your
money. But you don't have to worry about somebody trashing your rental car. You don't have to worry about somebody trashing your Airbnb.
Yes.
You know, finding a renter. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
You just got to figure out what works for you.
Cons.
Yeah, just like every business, right? Just like every business. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know, for
me too.
Our future. There's a lot of new things that are unraveling.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's good.
It's going to be interesting and fun.
It is. And I don't know, for those of you that don't know, I've been thinking about, you know, becoming some kind of coach.
Some kind of coach.
Some kind of coach. But the bottom line is, like, I don't want to be called a coach. You know, it's not a coach. You
just want to help people.
That's it. Like, I want to help people find their peace, joy, and love from within. And yeah. So I've been looking into that, and I think I have already started my program.
Yeah.
I've already started it.
You started writing. You've been writing a lot lately.
And I love it. Like, I enjoy it. Yeah. Like, I could do that all day.
I know.
I could sit on my laptop and just write and go. And I forgot how much I liked to write, because normally when I journal, it's about the day. It's about, you know, I have my spiritual journal, then I have a regular journal, then I have the everything journal.
Yeah.
You know, but to sit down and actually write and put my thoughts down, I haven't really.
But this is focused on something. I mean, this is like a program that you're developing.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of different than how you've written in the past.
Right. Yeah.
How you liking it?
And I'm excited about it. You know, like it's, and I think that's the thing too. You know how when people tell you, what is it that you love to do? What is it that you like to do? What makes you happy? What brings you joy? Like, what is that? Because whatever that is, that's where your success is going to be at. Yeah. You know, and success is different for everybody. For me, success isn't money. I'm not building this program or doing what I'm doing for the money. I mean, the money is going to come regardless, but I'm doing it. My heart is in a good place where I want to do this, and I will do this for free because I've been doing it for free.
You have been.
For quite some time.
But what's wrong with getting paid for doing something that you love?
I know, but they say, you know what I mean? Would you still do it for free?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, you have been.
I would. And I have been.
Kind of like this podcast.
Right. Exactly.
Like, we're going to start getting paid, and that's okay.
Right.
Like, we've been doing it for free, and we love doing it. But there's nothing wrong with getting paid. But when
you say, like, we've been doing this for free, people don't understand all the time,
everything that it takes,
the effort, the energy that you put into a podcast. I mean, you know, we had some sponsors.
It's like if somebody,
Eric helped us with the Roadcaster.
Yeah, and the computer.
Yes, you know, but like everything else that goes into this.
Well, all the work, the time, the editing, the marketing. It'd be kind of like just like people, you just don't know unless you're doing it. But if you end up making like $1 million and you get like that jealous feeling, and it's like, how come it's like, you have no clue.
Yep.
You have no clue the parking lots that I've walked through to put flyers on cars. Like, yeah.
Right.
It may look like
it's simple.
Yeah.
But there's so much any podcasters watching this? No.
But that's with everything.
Yes. Everything. Yeah. It all takes work. It all takes energy, no matter what.
Yep. Like you look at somebody successful in investing or whatever. It's like, yeah, I lost all my fucking money at one point, or whatever. It's not always pretty.
Right. And it's not always exciting.
But it's worth it. It's kind of like we talked about with the relationships,
but
right?
But because your heart's there. Yeah. Imagine if you hated it. Imagine if you started dreading it.
Yep.
We've been podcasting now for 3 years and we still feel the same.
Yeah.
But if you're podcasting and you're just like,
yeah,
this isn't then it's not for you. Like, move on, cut the cord and move on. And it's so hard for people at times to cut the cord. And I get it, because Legal Shield was one of those cords. I'm still attached, right? Like, I'm still attached. Yeah. I'll still help someone, purchase a membership. If someone's in need, I will still tell them about it, but I'm not out there actually marketing, hustling for Legal Shield.
Yeah.
But Legal Shield, I was in it for so long that I felt that Legal Shield was my identity.
Yeah.
And it was so hard to break away, because I felt that Legal Shield is who I am.
Yeah, that's how everybody saw you.
Yeah. But when my passion died, I knew that I had to because I wasn't excited about going out and doing the thing.
That's when it turns into like dread, like you said, dreading doing what you're doing.
Yep.
It's like, I got to go out again. I got to go do another appointment or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that goes for a lot of things, just a lot of things. We put ourselves in these situations and stay in them for so long because we feel that is who we are.
Hey, you know what? It just popped into my head and I forgot to write it down, but we were having this conversation.
Are you trying to start shit right now?
No.
Okay.
No, we were having this conversation the other day. And I told you, because we've been looking at different, like you said, like your coaching, but it's not just your coaching. Like, it's a lot of stuff that we're looking at, a lot of different things.
We might end up doing that together.
Yeah, possibly. And we were also looking at a podcast coach. And then I told you that I had listened, I had thought about this article that I read a while back about successful podcasts. This is episode 151. Mm-hmm. And it said that most successful podcasts have been podcasting for, I think, over 2 years or 3 years or something like that. And they have over 200 episodes. And we're at like 151. And we were kind of talking about the progress that we've made and things that have been happening. And now looking for a coach and trying to refocus certain things on the podcast. Right. Not really the content, but the marketing and all that kind of stuff.
We're looking to take the podcast to the next level. That's what it is.
But I was kind of thinking, like, we are at 150 or 151 or 151, right? And I was like, at this point in most podcasts is probably where people are like, look, I've been doing this for how long now? It's been 2 years, 3 years. We're 150 something episodes in. Mm-hmm. We haven't really made a lot of money. Like, this isn't, it's been a while. This is the point where we either have to figure out what we're going to do and either change some things or push this thing to the next level, or we need to just, either stop or like redirect our efforts or something, right? But I was like, we're at that point because this is where you either die or you make it or you push through or you figure it out, and that's what we're going to do.
See, And this is where you get the two different personalities, opposites attract, right? Because I didn't agree to this podcast because I thought we were going to make money from this podcast.
Yeah.
I agreed to start a podcast because I saw a platform. I saw a platform
That's what
where
I saw
we can
too. Yeah.
help the many, where we can give, provide valuable information, bring on experts. And then we've been through so much. We've been able to overcome so much. We, with marriage, parenting, finances, all of that. But like I said, all the work and energy that we put into this thing, we deserve to get paid for our efforts. At least that's how I feel. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, this show is always going to be free. Right. And we may have sponsors, or we will have sponsors eventually that help us pay for the show and pay for certain things and whatever. But there may be programs that come out or something that we create that we want to sell. And if we get paid from that, that's okay.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Like, we're giving out what we know, what we can, right?
Right, right.
So there's nothing wrong with getting paid a little bit.
Right. Faux show. So what?
Let's go, Audrey.
Yeah. I was just going to get to it.
Yeah.
So she made her softball team. I knew she was. So cool. Like, that girl, she has, just talking to her, you can feel her passion.
Yeah.
And then you can, she's practicing outside of practice.
Yeah.
And so I knew that she was going to make the team, but I was nervous. So I talked to her about it and I said, hey, I'm like, listen up. Because I didn't want her to, if she didn't make it, I didn't want it to like knock her down.
Yeah.
And before I could even say anything to her, she responded. And she's like, it's okay. She's like, I'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to her and she was telling me that her friend was telling her that she's been doing really good because her friend is older than her and doesn't go to that school anymore. She goes to the high school. And she's been helping the junior high school with the softball team because she used to play on that team. And she said that she was saying that she was doing really good. Like, don't worry, you're probably going to make the team and this and that. But then she was saying something like, kind of like that she's doing really good because, like, she's like, I already know some of the stuff that they're making us do this for the tryouts, and I already know how to do that.
Right. There goes the ego.
Like,
there goes the...
Oh, okay. And I just, I explained to her, I'm like, look, this is your first year.
Right.
And yeah, you're getting a little bit of extra help, but, there's a lot of things that, and then right after that, I was like, what can you get better at? And she was like, well, batting and fielding. I was like, yeah, I'm sure that there's probably things that they may just naturally be good at. I was like, but you don't want to take that attitude. Like, pay attention. Look at the little things that are going to help you get better.
See, and I think she says those things to kind of play around. Like, it's more normally when she says something like that, it's more in a playful.
I think it's kids. Kids need to be taught that shit. Kids don't naturally understand what humility is. What, like, not feeling like you already know. They don't get that shit. You have to teach them that. Have you ever noticed? Like, I've noticed that with kids, with a lot of kids, when they're little, they're all like that. They're always like that. And you have to kind of tell them. You have to teach them. And then sometimes they need to get taught lessons.
Well, too, it's because everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah.
When they were little.
Maybe.
You remember in soccer?
It's true.
I mean, they all got a trophy. They all got a trophy.
When Sonia and I used to coach kids soccer.
Right.
And what we used to do is we used to get a box of trophies. And the best kid on the team, we would just give all the trophies to that one kid. We'd be like, here you go, buddy.
And then they kicked us off. Then
like,
we were no longer coaches anymore.
You want participation trophies? Everybody's fucking trophies go to this kid. Yay.
It's stupid. He's lying.
I'm just kidding.
We wanted to.
We didn't do that. Oh, my God.
Yes. No, but she's really excited. And she did work for it. She did.
Yeah,
she worked for it. Her grades are up. She's doing very well. I'm proud of her. And I've been listening, to this book. And, the things they talk about are so basic, but because life keeps us so busy that we're not present, we're not aware, the stupidest little things, and she talks about, just talking to them like, hey, I'm proud of you.
What book is this?
The Conscious Parent. And it also talked about that, when they're gone away from school or from somewhere, when they come back, be like, hey, I missed you today. I missed you today. Because we think it, but we don't express it.
Yeah.
And then, so when I picked her up the other day, I held her hand. We always hold hands in the car. And I told her, I'm like, hey, I missed you today. She's like, I missed you too. And and I told her, I'm like, I really love holding your hand. Like it makes my heart warm. That's nice. Because it does. Like she's 12 years old and she still holds my hand, and she will still hold my hand at the store. When we go to the stores, she grabs my hand.
Yeah. That book is The Conscious Parent by Dr. Shefali Tsabary. Tsabary.
Well, part of the program too, I'm adding some of
that. But just in case you guys
I'm adding some of the things that she talks about, because I feel that it's so important for us to slow down and be more aware and present with our children, because they will give you all the answers.
Yeah.
And it's like when we have children, it's not parent versus child, but parent with child. And I think that once you understand that, like with our kids, we have learned, right? They have taught us.
Yeah, they've taught us a lot.
To be patient. They've taught us
to look at ourselves.
They're little seriously.
To look at ourselves and
with Audrey, like I used to say, she's a little mini me. She is not a mini me. Like I'm not saying that, because she's not. She's her own little person.
Yeah.
She's different.
Yeah, she is.
And I don't want her to hear me say, you are my little mini me. And I've done it
and
before.
And then maybe she feels like she wants that she needs to be like you. Yeah.
Right. And she always tells me, she's like, Mom, she's like, I'm a good kid. Like she tells me that. And I'm thinking, go mess some stuff up.
Yeah.
Go do some shit.
Go get in trouble. No, don't go get in trouble.
Not yet. No. But she knows she's a good kid and she expresses it.
Yeah.
But I don't want her to feel that she always has to be a good kid, because then she's not going to learn what she has to learn. It may take her a long time, and when she falls, she's going to fall hard.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know. Maybe that's her personality, just how she is.
She is. I told you, when she was young, what did we used to say?
Both of the kids, they're both like,
hey,
I don't know.
When she was young, what did we used to say?
What?
What was she going to be when she grew up?
A nun.
Yes.
A nun. She might still be a nun. But
we used to joke about that like all the time. Like she's going to be our little nun.
Yeah. No, so the other day when I went to go pick her up. Mm-hmm. What's up?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I went to go, I was dropping her off at school. And we were talking about the softball thing. This was before she found out that she had made the team. I think it was Friday when she was going to find out. And I was just telling her that when I used to play football, that like even if she doesn't make the team, so what I was explaining to her was that up until this point, she's been on a recreational team, kind of like the participation trophies. Yep, everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets to play. You guys go in for 7 minutes, and then we pull all the kids out, and then we put all the other kids in for 7 minutes. So all the kids play. The parents don't really complain that my kid's not playing and this and that, right? I was like, this is junior high school. I was like, they are going to keep score. I was like, and this is going to be competitive. And if you're not good, you're going to sit the entire game and you may not play at all. I was like, that's how this is competitive. This is real sports. I was like, but you can work really hard and earn a spot. I was like, and I'll tell you, I was like, when I used to play football, I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the fastest. Mm-hmm. I was like, but I tried really hard. And there was a lot of people that, I really like genuinely, like I loved football. Like I love playing football. I would get excited to go to practice. Like that's the kind of person that should be playing football, right? Or that kind of sport.
Right.
I would be excited to go to practice and running and doing all the stuff. And the coaches saw that. And I told her that when I first started playing, I wasn't the starter. I was one of the backups. Mm-hmm. And then I explained to her the difference between the starters and the backups and all that. And then the starters, the backup, and the bench. I was like, so I was one of the backups. And one of the first play of the game, the starter, something happened and they pulled him out and they put me in. I was like, and I did what I usually do. I just did the best I could. And I never came back out of that game. Like I was the starter from that point forward. Mm-hmm. I was like, but I just... everything that I could, like I made sure that I paid attention. I focused. Like if you've seen me when I go to jiu-jitsu or whatever, like if somebody's talking and they're teaching me, like I'm watching what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And coaches, and I told her, I was like, coaches see that. I was like, so it doesn't matter where you start. I was like, you can always, I was like, and that happened to me over every time that I played football. They would put me over here, start me over there, you know, on something else that I didn't really want to do, but I just fucking busted my ass and got to where I wanted to be every time. You know, I was like, and you can do the same thing. She was like, yeah.
She has your competitive spirit.
Yeah. But it's that, like, it wasn't that.
Which is good.
You know, and that thing when it happened with that one guy that they pulled him out and put me in, I wasn't competing against him. I wasn't. Like, I never looked at it.
But you want to be good.
I was always,
like
I was always
give
just.
your best. You
I
give
did.
your all.
It wasn't like I of course I wanted to play. You know, I didn't want to be on the bench. I wanted to be out there playing.
Yes.
But I just wanted to, like, I wanted to do the best I could. You know,
Right.
that was all it was.
So on the form that we received, it has strengths on there. And one of her strengths was coachability.
Yeah. Yep.
And you told her, you said that's the most important one.
Yep.
And
Because
it's
they had
so
like
true.
they had like 12 different categories: hitting, fielding,
Right.
you know, infield, outfield, all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But the last one was coachability, and she had that one.
And you told her that's the most important one. And what's so crazy is most of us don't think about that.
What I told her, I was like, if you have this one, you can get all the other ones.
Right.
I was like, but if you don't have this one, it's going to be tough to get the other ones.
So let's talk about that. Coachability. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
To me, well, kind of a big part of the coachability is being humble, is humility, is listening and paying attention, because you can, like we've talked about on here, you can learn from anybody. Like we've learned from our kids, situations that we've talked about just a little while ago, like that they've taught us. But it's like that, I mean, in sports and everything. You know, if you feel like you're the best, kind of like when she was saying,
then you'll
I'm
never
good,
learn
I'm this,
anything
I'm
new.
that. And I'm like, hey, that other kid that you may know a little bit more about on that drill may know more than you about something else on these other drills.
Right.
So you could learn.
Yep.
So
And I love the fact, like, she does not give up. She'll continue to try. She'll give, you know, that's just how she is. And our kids are so different because Joey, I mean, I don't know if he's that way in sports or not, but
I was thinking about that today. I think what we need to do with him is just share with him examples of where he has overcame things.
yes.
Where he didn't quit and he did get it. He
Yes.
just needs to be reminded,
Right.
you know, when he's given up on himself. Like, hey, this isn't any different than when you rode a bike. This isn't any different than
Right.
any of this other stuff.
So right before the podcast, I went upstairs and you weren't around, and my nails are pretty long right now. And I asked him if he could help me put on my necklace, and he's like, "Sure, Mom." So he's trying, and he can't get it. He can't get it. He's like, "I'm done. I give up." Like,
Oh my God.
but he was getting frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, what's going on, kid? But that's something either, I mean, can you be taught? Can you be taught coachability? Because I'm thinking back to a time where I've always been open to learn.
I think I've always been humble.
I've always been open to learn. Seriously.
I think as far as I can remember.
And I even asked, like, when I first started speaking in front of a room, I
If I wanted
remember
to.
asking for help, like for them to listen to me and tell me what are some things that I can get better at.
Yeah.
You know, what are some things and I told him, just be real with me, because that's the only way I'm going to learn. And when I don't know something, I will ask. And if I know somebody who's doing it better, I will ask.
Yeah.
And so it's like, where does that stem from? Where does that come from?
I don't know.
And
Maybe that's something we got to look up. Because as far as I remember, I've been the same way. I mean, I've always kind of listened and paid. Like, if it's something that I care about, if it's something that I want to learn, then that's kind of always the attitude that I've taken. It's like, I'm going to listen to what this person has to say. And sometimes, I mean, once you get some experience, you still listen, but then you can also kind of judge what they're saying, you know, because I mean, just as an example, in jiu-jitsu, like, I've been doing it for a little bit, you know, so if I have somebody that's newer, or maybe somebody new that comes to the school and they want to show me something and they're a lower belt or whatever, and I'm like, Yeah. Like I'll listen to what they're saying, but I may have some other experience and I'm like, I don't know if they really know exactly what's going on. But if they put something on me and I'm like, holy fuck, this dude knows what he's talking about.
And that's important too, because you have to be careful with the information you're taking in. Like, is this the person, you know, do they have what you're looking for?
Like if they try to hit me with the 1-inch punch, I'm not fucking listening. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, nope, it's not happening.
Right.
It's because you have some experience.
Yes. So back with, because I was going to ask you a question when we were talking about that we can learn from our kids.
Yeah.
Before, when you and I were new parents, we were very strict or very, when we would ask the kids to do something, it's like,
shut up and do it.
Shut up and do it.
Yeah.
And then when they would get themselves into trouble and they were crying, you would, you know, we would, hey, shut your mouth. You don't have a reason to be crying.
Yeah.
And we realized pretty early on that wasn't the right way. So the way we were
not every
raised.
Time. Sometimes, but not every time.
Sometimes, but not every time.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to give explanations.
Right. And that's not something that was in my household. Because that's talking back.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. Like that's talking back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And until we started educating ourselves, why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing because that's when you get your ear ripped off. Like my grandma used to grab me by my ear, like, shut the fuck. And I'd be like, shit.
And it's funny because we laugh about it. Like, well, we turned out fine, right? Like, what is so wrong with, you know, smacking them around or
smacking them,
not giving them a voice, right? Those of you that are watching that are in about our age range, you're like, yeah.
It's like I used to have to go out and I used to have to go get my dad's belt for him so he could whoop my ass.
I used to have to spank myself. No, but seriously, you know, we had to unlearn a lot of things, you know, that we learned because we were going off of how we were being raised.
And there's some things that were like, oh shit, they got that right. Right.
Yes. So it's almost like you have to, and then times are changing.
Yeah.
You know, the kids are not.
You know what I think? I think there's a word that Jocko Willink uses a lot. You were listening to Jocko earlier this week.
Yes.
But we'll probably talk about that in a little bit. But there's a word that he uses all the time, and it's dichotomy. And all that means is balance.
Yes.
Like there's a balance to everything.
Everything. Yes.
You know?
Yes. And so when, you know, I knew already what she was talking about, you know, talking to the kids, being more aware, being more present, and that we can learn a whole lot about ourselves through our kids. And I was thinking, you know, what is the one thing that I've learned? Because you're going to get two different. Audrey's way different than Joey.
Yeah.
And with Audrey, my trigger with Audrey is when she you know, I'm a clean freak. I've gotten better. But that's because I was raised that way.
Yeah.
Right?
That's because I was raised this way.
Shit. My mom, she's little, but she scared the shit out of me. On you. She scared me to be clean.
Yeah.
I can't scare Audrey to be clean, man. You know, and it's like there's a certain way to talk to your kids in order to get them to do the thing that you want them to do without threatening them, really without yelling at them.
And we're still figuring that shit out.
Yes. But I feel like I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm getting better at it. The more I listen, the more I learn.
Yeah.
And I realized Audrey at times can be disorganized, and that drives me freaking bananas. Drives me bananas. But it's only because I am disorganized.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I try, right? Like, I mean, my drawers, everything's in the drawer.
Were you?
They're not on the, you know, my clothes aren't on the floor. They're in the drawer.
That,
right? Yeah. And because before you and the kids, everything had a place. Everything.
Were you telling me about that? Were you just talking to me about that yesterday or something like that? Because you were saying something like, or Or if it wasn't you, it was a video or something that I was watching or listening to or reading. But it's that what drives you crazy.
Yes.
Is
you were listening to a book. Probably Untangled, maybe.
Okay, it's what you see in them.
Yes.
It's seeing your flaws in them.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. And listening and just continuing to learn all that I can regarding parenting.
Yeah. It's kind of like the anger in Joey.
Exactly.
And
that,
me
okay,
seeing
so
the
I
anger
was
in
going
Joey.
to ask you that question. What is the one thing that helped you? That Joey helped you
definitely
recognize?
Yeah, he helped me. I mean, it was like I knew, and it's like, all right, I need to chill out. But at a certain point, when you see that in your kid, it's like, all right, I really need to address this. Like, I need to figure this shit out. Like, I can't just put this off, you know?
Yes.
But I think one thing, and I was listening to the book Untangled. One thing that I've noticed is like the leadership. I was talking to you about that yesterday. Is leadership plays. There's a lot of things that I hear in these books, these parenting books, that are like leadership principles. They're just straight up. They're just straight up leadership principles, like leading a team, leading a platoon, leading a unit, leading a business group, leading whatever. And one of those, one of the things that I was listening to in that book, they were saying about not partying with in Untangled, they were saying not partying with your kids.
It is not good to be
or being the party parent
with your kids, right? If your child says you're their best friend,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. I mean, I am friends with Audrey, but there is a very fine line. Meaning, I'm her friend because she trusts me enough to come talk to me about things that are happening at school or things that are happening from, within herself. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
But not just a fine line. It's a defined line.
Yes.
Like, and she knows that this is the line. Like, we're friendly, right? But I'm your mom.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yep.
It's not like we're chill, we're homies.
Right. No. Yes. You can't do that because that's when the respect is lost.
Yeah. But they were in that book, they were talking about the party parents, and then like
explain that.
The thought is that it's the parents that once the kids start getting a little bit older, instead of the kids going out and partying somewhere else, I would rather have them party here with me at least, so I know what's going on. So they're the ones that will buy the beer or buy the alcohol. Like, they want to be the cool parents, the ones that are friends with with their kids and their kids' friends, and that way at least they have some sort of control. They know what's happening inside their house, and it's not happening out there. While that may be, I guess, better than just ignoring everything, but it's still, when it comes time to having to discipline or having to say something, it's hard when you're friends with your kid.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way. And that was a leadership principle that we learned in Legal Shield.
Right.
Was that when you start growing a team and building a team, as the leader, there's certain things that you shouldn't be doing around your team.
Yeah.
And some people don't know that line. They think it's just a big ass party and you just start doing everything with your team.
That was me. We had so much fun.
But it's to a point. You still always have to kind of hold yourself to a different level.
Yes.
Yes. And it's not that you don't love your team. It's not. It's just that you are the leader.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was the same. That she was talking about the same exact thing in Untangled.
And I mean, there's a way to go about doing it. Like, for instance, with Adriana, her and I talked about her inviting, at least 5 friends over every other Friday, and we were going to hang out and make cookies or, do something fun with her friends.
Yeah.
Because I want to know who she's hanging around with. And I want this to be the house and it is the house. Everybody comes and hey, let's go. Yeah, everybody comes here. And that's the right way to go about doing it. You know, the girl that she was talking about, I think the girl was only 16 or 17. Like, she wasn't up there in age. I'm like, why would she be buying them beer anyway?
Yeah, that is just, I don't even know what that thought process is. That's crazy.
What they had said is that if you are the cool parent and your daughter is in a situation and she's feeling uncomfortable, she cannot say, this isn't something, my mom would take me to put me in boot camp. She found out
she would mop the floor with me if she found out that I was drunk.
That's what they were saying though.
Yeah.
Like you want to
you can't do that
be
if you
the
have
scapegoat. You want to have a code, which, with your daughter, which Audrey and I have already did this. Like if she gets in an uncomfortable situation where she could be like, you know what? My mom, blah, 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 blah. And she calls me up and I know exactly.
I just listened to this. So what it was is if you are that party parent, she can't, like you said, she can't use those excuses to get out of situations with her friends.
Right.
And one of the techniques that they were talking about is that you and your daughter have like a secret code. Like the one that they use in the book was, I left on my curling iron.
Yep.
Or I left on the flat iron or whatever girls use in my room. So if she's in a situation at a party where she knows that she doesn't want to really be there, but she doesn't want to not look cool to her friends, like she's ditching the party when something that she's uncomfortable with is about to happen, she'll call the house and say, hey mom, I just wanted to let you know I left on the flat iron or the curling iron.
And my job is to yell at her.
And just blow up over the phone and go pick her up. And that way you look like the asshole.
Right.
She looks like she just wanted to let you know and got in trouble and now she's got to go.
Right. Yes.
So
anyways,
if you guys want to pick up Untangled, make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. You guys can follow the podcast there. You can see all of our social media. You can watch the podcast there. You can listen to it there. And when you go to our website, the first thing that you're going to see is a pop-up for our resource guide.
Yes.
And the resource guide is?
It is a list of resources, books, audios, videos, things that we have used in order to help us grow with our marriage, parenting, finances, all of that. So, you get to get it for free. So all you have to do is put in your first name, last name, email, and submit that bad boy, and you get a free resource list.
Yep. And you can also you can download and listen to the country songs that I made for Sonja, back in February?
Yeah,
so if you guys go back and listen to that, it was kind of funny. I made Sonja a country song for Valentine's Day. You guys can download it there also. But yeah, when you go to the website, you can follow our social media there. But you'll also see a link that says support the show. If you click on that support the show link, it'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps out the show whenever you purchase something. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency and signing agency. So if you're in the process of selling, refinancing, or purchasing a home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Nice. And if you would like to get a phone case, an Opposites Attract podcast phone case, t-shirt, pop socket for your phone, different things that we have. You guys can find all of that on Amazon. Just search Opposites Attract podcast on Amazon and you can find all of that.
Yes. And we want to give a shout out to Mr. Bill Soroka, who went and bought us a coffee.
Yeah, he bought it. He was our first supporter on Buy Me a Coffee.
Yes.
And if you guys would like to buy us a coffee, buy us a virtual coffee and help out the show. Or a beer. You guys can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. So it's opposite pod, just like all of our handles on everything on Instagram, Twitter. So buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. And you guys can buy us a coffee.
And we will be sure to shout your name out. No.
Yep, we'll shout you out on the show. And if we get a chance to meet you in person, you got to let us buy you a coffee and we can catch up and talk.
Yes,
We're also affiliates with Pinwheel, which is the best smartphone for kids that's available. One of the things that I really love about the smartphone is that we can see everything that's on there. I mean, with everything that's out in the world and the social media, all the crap that they're not supposed to be getting into, you guys know cell phones are a problem. You know, one thing that I was going to mention about this was we held off for like the longest time in getting our daughter a phone.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, who was I listening to? I don't know if it was a group or some video. I'm always listening to some shit. But it was some lady that was talking about like, my kid isn't getting a phone till she's 18.
Oh, yes.
What were we listening to some together? What was that?
Yes. Ooh, I can't remember. But yes, it was.
We went to a group. We went to a get together, and somebody at the get together said something about their kid not like my daughter's not getting a phone till.
I thought it was on Joe Rogan. He was interviewing some dude or something.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
And he was saying that one of the individuals who sells something didn't even allow their kids to have social media.
Exactly what it was. It was Steve Jobs.
Yes.
Wouldn't allow his kids to play on an iPad.
Yes.
So if the CEO of the freaking social media companies do not allow their kids on their platforms, we probably shouldn't allow our kids on those freaking platforms either.
Isn't that crazy?
Anyway, that's just a thought.
Yes.
But in that Joe Rogan thing, the guy was saying that, like, I'm not going to allow my kid to have a phone till she's 18.
Yes.
And it's like, that's not a good option either.
That's what he's
That's not. Oh,
that's what he
Joe
said.
Rogan said this. She's going to be. She's like, she's going to rebel.
Yes.
She's going to rebel. Dude, she's going to go fucking nuts. She's going to be turning tricks and all this crazy shit. But it's true. Like, that's not a good option. They are going to, they will rebel. Yes. So Pinwheel is the perfect cheese. We're going to lose our sponsorship or affiliate with Pinwheel. But it's a perfect option because you cannot just not give them a phone till they're 18.
Right.
That's going to be a problem. Right.
Yes.
But this can
especially
help
like when they're in sports and they're needing to be picked up or they get hurt and that's why we decided to give in and to get her the phone only through Pinwheel, because if it wasn't for Pinwheel, she wouldn't have a phone.
Yeah, we would have to figure something else out, and it would be so much more complicated to figure out all the apps and all the stuff.
Right.
So with this phone, she has only access to apps that are going to help her be more productive, alarms, calendars, music stuff, but nothing that's going to drain her attention. And if you guys would like to check out a Pinwheel phone, you guys can use promo code OAP10, OAPTEN, all in caps, and that'll give you 10% off of a Pinwheel phone when you go to pinwheel.com. You were going to say something?
Take notes. This is something we need to talk about on our parenting series.
Okay. We have
social media.
It's going to be recorded.
I know, but still, you should take notes. Anyways, are we done with all the lip sync?
Yeah. If you guys want to start a podcast, use promo code OAP with Lipson.
See, I listen.
Yeah.
See, I listen. Anyways.
I was thinking about cutting that out anyway, babe, because it's not really part of our, whatever.
All right. So, I'm really excited. We are really excited.
We are.
For our members only. Okay.
Yes.
So we have a Facebook group page, Opposites Attract. Okay. Search it, become a member, because if you're not a member, you are not going to be a part of the series that we're starting. But we're starting a parenting series, and it starts November 18th. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because we were talking about earlier in the week, like we're planning this thing out and talking about it. And it's like, we're doing this for free, but take advantage now because we're going to be charging later for this, years from now.
It's going to be so good.
Sooner than we think.
I'm so excited about it. And I'm hopefully, I feel that the first one's going to be small. It's going to be intimate. There's going to be a lot of, going back and forth, back and forth. We're thinking of getting some experts on as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And so if you are interested in becoming a part of this series, go to our Facebook page, join it. There is an event.
The Facebook group.
Yes. And then that's what I said. And then go to the event. You'll see it. Click on it. Join it. And if you know anyone who's having a hard time, whether it's preteens or teens or just children in general, because we're going to go through it all, make sure that you get them into our group page, and they can also join the event as well.
Yeah.
And you are going to have homework. Okay, so this isn't just a take a listen.
See, that's where you lost some people. I would have been out. I would have been like, I'll come in and listen, but I ain't doing no freaking homework.
It's okay. No, you have to do homework. In order to get better, there's so much things that, we need to unlearn, relearn. And some of you may have a perfect upbringing. You can probably skip the homework if you're like, I grew up in a Leave It to Beaver, kind of home. Then, hey, you're ahead of the game.
Yep.
Now all you have to do is cut off the social media from them. No.
That's it. Before it ruins them.
Before it ruins them.
So yeah. But yeah, so you know what? There was something that happened with Joey earlier in the week that kind of reminded me. There was a couple things I was going to talk about. But there was, when I was a little kid, we were talking about the 5 love languages, right? And the different love languages and how kids have different love languages. Mm-hmm. And what do you think Joey's love language is?
I thought it was affirmations. Is that one of them? Like positive
Yeah.
affirmation. I believe so.
Yeah.
Because when I notice, like, hey, I'm so proud of you. You've done so good. Like, he just melts.
I think that, yeah.
But he also likes quality time.
Or physical touch. Or like
See,
he
it's
loves,
so hard.
it
Which
is.
one is?
He's really
because
loving.
you can have several.
But one thing that
I
was thinking, yeah, you can have, I mean, you have your primary and your secondary.
And then your secondary.
But one thing that I thought about this week was when I was a little kid, there was a picture. I don't know if my grandmother had it or my dad had it, but there was a picture of me and my dad like sleeping. Somebody took a picture of me and him sleeping together when I was a little kid. And like I told you, when I was a kid, like all I wanted was to be with my dad, right? And somebody got a picture of us, and like I was like in his chest, and he had his arms around me. I had my arms around him, and it was just like a big ball, and like we're just cuddled up together. And that was like my favorite thing.
It still is your favorite thing.
Well, listen, I was telling my dad, like I remember that I would always tell my dad, like, let's go cuddle.
Aw.
But it didn't really happen that often.
Yeah.
And earlier in the week, you know, whenever our kids are going to bed, like every night we go up and we put them down and we lay them down. We tuck them in. We give them a kiss before they go to bed. And our son's 10, our daughter's 12, and we still do it. But Joey he's like, come on, Dad, cuddle time.
Aw.
And it was one of those days that we were just like super busy, and I wanted to just go hang out with you for a little bit and just kind of like wrap up the day. But in that moment, I thought about the picture with my dad.
Aww.
And I thought about how I always wanted that. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go lay down with him. I was like, and from now on, I'll just, because there's times when you're hanging out with Audrey and I'll go hang out with Joey. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lay there and hug him until you come. And that could be 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever,
right.
But I'll just sit there and cuddle up with him. And it was nice. Like, it was nice
Audrey
because I
really
remembered
enjoys that too.
I remember that from being a kid, you know, and I remember how I wanted that.
So we need to figure out maybe a schedule, because you and I normally have our evenings together. Like, that's the time we have together. And so maybe just make it a thing where we go, and I love going into Audrey's room and just laying on her bed with her and allowing her just to open up, because she does. As soon as I lay on the bed with her, get comfy, we start hugging, and we're laying there in silence. And then she opens up.
And then she starts talking.
Take notes, parents, because that's normally how it works. That's how you start to build that friendship and trust.
Yeah.
With Joey, you know, maybe we can swap.
No, we need to swap.
I'll go hang out with her for a little bit, and then
we need to swap too.
After maybe half an hour, go swap. That means we have to put them down earlier, or either we're going to bed later.
You got to work out the schedule.
You know, we just got to work it out.
But that kind of stuff is important. I
yes.
think, I don't know, maybe like that laying the kids down kind of thing. It's kind of like similar to the like eating together. You know, or maybe it's just part of the routine.
That's what they're going to remember forever.
Like every night, mom and dad used to like at 9:30 or whatever, you know, that mom and dad used to come upstairs and they would come and give us a kiss, and it was time to go to sleep.
See, and the time that Adriana and I have together, normally it's when we go to our Connect group and her and I are in the car and we're chit-chatting, talking, or when we go to church, because normally, you know, her and I go, and it, you know, it gives us that one-on-one time. But I think that it's very important as a parent that you get that one-on-one time with all your kids. Yeah. Because that's the only way you're going to see them. And what I mean by see them, I'm talking about see them. Who are they really? You know, and I had talked to you about, you know, like, well, I talked about it a little earlier, like, I don't want Audrey to be a mini me. She is her own individual. She is her own person. And I don't want to make her into a mini me. I want her to be who she is and not feel that she has to be like me or has to be like you. You're not like me. And that's what I'm. And maybe, I don't know if that would hurt her feelings, but I'll be like, you know, you're not like me. You're better than me. You are your own person.
Yeah.
You know, we may have similar likes, but you are your own person.
Of course, you guys are, That's cool.
But
that'd be good.
Yeah, it's important to have that daddy-daughter date.
Yeah.
And mom and son date.
Yeah, we got to swap because I have spent a lot of time, you know, hanging out with Joey, and so I got to spend some more time with Audrey.
Yeah. And it's been a while since you've had a date with her.
I think with Audrey too, like she still does push me away from time to time. So I got to put in a little extra effort with Audrey to kind of, you know.
And normally it's during
just what it is.
During her, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah. Hopefully you guys figured that out. Watch the podcast. You might be able to figure it out with the facial when we make each other feel awkward. And it's like, yeah. And that's it. We just leave it at that.
Yeah, they'll get it if they have young 12. Girls.
Yeah,
they'll get it.
So the other day on Thursday, you had a busy day. I had a busy day. What was it? Thursday, I think we interviewed a podcast coach, and then you had an appointment afterwards, and then I was editing videos. And usually when we have a busy day like that, it was another one of those days where we had to just kind of make it happen between the both of us. Like you were working, I was planning on making the main part of dinner, like making the meat. I was making pork chops or whatever I was making, and I was planning on doing that because I still had to edit videos or whatever. But you had an appointment, the kids were doing stuff or whatever, and then it started getting a little bit later, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start making the other stuff.
Right.
So I started making the other sides, and I was making rice, and it was funny because I did one of those things, the thing that everybody that makes rice, like Hispanic people or Filipinos now, I guess I know they do the same thing, but you stick your thumb in the rice to figure out if you got enough water to measure it.
Oh,
right. You stay when you're making it.
Mexicans don't do that.
Yes, they do. I can guarantee you they do.
I've never done that. I've never seen my mom do that. I don't remember my grandmother doing that because we just know how much water to put in.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I was doing that, but I remember like where I got that.
Is that
from.
why you were doing that?
Yeah. I was like, and then I stuck it in there. But so I was thinking about like in that moment that I got that from my grandmother, and it's been like my grandmother passed away, I don't know, like a few months ago, and we couldn't get together. It was just. I think that was like the first time when I just kind of like I think you were upstairs doing something with the kids or finishing up work or doing whatever. But I was downstairs by myself. Like all the kids were upstairs playing or whatever. And I just had music on and I was making the rice. And at that moment, I just kind of thought about my grandmother for a second.
Aww.
And it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I just kind of remembered her and all the like, I mean, I think it was maybe like 30 minutes. I was just kind of sitting there.
Isn't that crazy how that happens?
Yeah. It was really
Do you
cool.
remember that time when I took a bite out of a green grape? We normally don't buy green grapes.
That was crazy.
What was that? Do you remember?
That was your grandfather, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I got all teary-eyed. I mean, I haven't thought about, God, it's been so long. I mean, I was 9 years old, I think, or something like that when he had passed away. And I hadn't thought about him in a long time, and I bet he used to grow grapes. He had these grapevines behind the yard, and I remember all of us cousins used to get into trouble. Like he would go out, and if he were to see us eating the grapes and they weren't ripe yet, they were tiny and sour and we loved them, he would freaking go out there with a water hose with the gun, the gun, and spray us all down.
He'd chase you with the water hose?
With the water hose.
Yeah.
And it's great how for me, that's a God wink. That's what that is. That's a God wink. It's them coming, and just saying, hey, it's like their presence. Hey,
Yeah.
That's the spiritual side of me.
That was really cool.
Hey, where you going, girl? Want to come say hi to everybody real quick? Congratulations.
Here comes Audrey. We were talking about her making the softball team.
Come say hi.
There she is.
Hi, my baby.
The softball player.
Say, what's up, opposites attract listeners?
What's up?
She's got to go to a car show right now.
Oh, she's okay.
She's going to a car show. That's what she was.
I thought we were going to
she's
take
going
her
to a
somewhere.
car show right now. And we're recording a
All right.
podcast.
Okay, baby.
I was trying to show the little.
Love you.
Love you, girlfriend. So yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Very cool.
So, Jocko Willink. Yeah. So I
what,
get it.
What was that about? The other day, I get in the car and I see that you're listening to Jocko. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
I'm subscribed.
Did you?
Yes.
Or
And,
did I subscribe for you?
No, you didn't. Why would you do that? What I listen to is none of your business. No.
Oh, man.
So he was talking about it, and this is why. So it started playing.
It just played.
And what I heard automatically, because my phone was connected to, my Bluetooth's connected to the phone. So as soon as I turn on the car, I don't know if I accidentally hit play, but it started playing.
But
no, I'm lying. I saw the description.
Okay.
I saw
What
the
was the
description, and it was talking about like division, right?
Oh, I
Like,
saw that one. I didn't watch it though.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
So when I saw that, I'm like, ooh,
I was gonna watch it.
this might be interesting. And he started talking about how division is causing us to become weak.
Yeah. Yep.
And while we are dividing ourselves,
The enemy is getting ready.
the enemy, like everybody else,
Is getting
is
stronger.
coming together. They're getting stronger. And man, I never really thought about that.
Yeah. You know, I was listening to I don't know if I should say his name, but
Don't say his name, just say it.
this guy, yeah. But I was listening to a video on YouTube and they were talking about something similar. And they were saying kind of like with the it was like the metaverse, what's happening with the social media where they're trying to create like a virtual world that people can kind of go into and live in, like the show Black Mirror on Netflix type of stuff. And that, what is it? China, I guess, has made a law where their kids are only allowed to play video games or be on a computer or on a screen like a certain amount of time per day. And that's, I mean, when you look at our country and freedom and all that stuff, it seems like how could you control your people like that?
Right.
Like that doesn't seem right. But when you give everybody like ultimate freedom to do whatever the hell they want, if they ultimately want to live in a metaverse, and I mean, it's crazy. And
See, and that's the thing.
And they're not going to be part of that crap. And while we have our heads buried in the sand,
Right.
they're getting prepared.
Right.
The world's going to look very different.
And that's exactly why I want to be a coach. Because a lot of people, when their life isn't going the way they want it to go,
Yeah.
because they have a different vision of how their life was supposed to turn out.
Yeah. And not that I'm saying that you should control people and
No,
you should force them to
yeah.
only, I don't know what the hell the answer is, but shit, I don't know if we're going in the right direction either.
Right.
It's crazy.
I mean, if you listen to yourself,
Yeah.
you'll get the right answers. You'll know if what you're doing is right or wrong. If you quiet the mind and you ask those questions, the answers will be revealed. But because we're so busy trying to numb what we're
I think
feeling,
if
when
you had your shit together and your shit figured, like if you understood the world the way it is, like reality on reality's terms, you're not going to want to be in a fucking metaverse. But I guess if people if they don't have their head on straight,
right, if they want to tap out,
they're going to
right?
be in there and it's going to make us weak.
Yes.
Like he was saying.
Yes. If they want to tap out,
Look,
there's drugs.
They've already
we've
talked
talked-
about, like, the military is having, not that, you know, whatever, like the military today with the things that they have to do and the orders that they have to follow from the people that are giving them, I don't know. I'm not sure. But as far as like recruiting and defending the country and that sort of thing goes, like the military is having trouble getting qualified candidates today to join the military. You know, like it's not like before where you could just start recruiting people straight out. Like they're having a lot of trouble finding people that are qualified, you know, to join the military. So that's also making us even weaker.
Right. I think that us as parents, we really need to get in tune with our children and start educating them and just talking life to them, speaking life into them.
Yeah.
But really talking to them about what's happening, but not on a deep level, right? And you don't want to feed them how you feel, what your beliefs are. It's kind of like knowing what's happening with social media. It's like you ask them questions and you allow them to answer the questions and allow them to see for themselves how unhealthy social media is.
Yeah.
But it's getting them to recognize it, not you telling them, because we all know when we tell our kids to not do something, what do?
They want to do that.
They do it.
Yeah.
It's like, you just don't want me to have access to the same things you have. That's kind of like what it is. Like, you just want to control me. You just want to.
Or it's like, I wonder why I can't do that. Or I wonder why I can't get in there. Or I wonder why I can't see that. Well, I'm going to see it when you're not looking.
You know, but
maybe.
if you're real with them and you really just get them to answer questions and get them to recognize it and realize it for themselves, that's when they listen.
And I think that's also part of what we were talking about earlier in the podcast is explaining things sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to explain things. Like when you tell them, look, like we've had to explain it to Audrey about social media. Like because she's asked us. I mean, if you guys have a preteen or a teenager and they're not on social media, you've gotten the questions before. Why can't I have TikTok? Why can't I have Facebook? Why can't I have Snapchat? Why can't I have Instagram?
Right.
And we have to explain, look, the people that work on these platforms are literal geniuses. They know how to get you addicted. Like, and it's not good. It's not nice. Like they're using you to make money. And you have to understand that.
Yeah,
they're
but it has
manipulating
to go deeper than that. But yes, it's getting them to.
Yeah, and then the feelings that you get when somebody likes something, when somebody doesn't like something, and that's all. Those are the questions you ask them. The algorithm.
Yes, and those are the questions you ask them.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you put a picture up and nobody's liking or responding to your post? How does that make you feel? That's exactly.
Well, we couldn't ask that picture because she doesn't.
I know.
She's never done.
But the people that are watching have kids that do have access to social media.
And that may be some questions that can help you wean them off of it. I don't know.
Because it will help them to recognize what's happening.
Yeah.
But if you're telling them, they're not going to listen. That's when they shut down.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, it's nuts. I forgot what I was going to talk about, but the Jocko Willink, when I was listening to that, it just made me realize, like, man, this is like,
I've been thinking about that a lot.
It's crazy.
I've been thinking about that lately, you know, with everything that's, like you said, everything that's happening in the country with all the different topics that people are just completely either on one side or on the other side about. And maybe the truth is that it really isn't that way. I think a lot of people are in the middle. Whether you maybe lean to one side or the other, it's not like you hate the other side or the other, because that's how I feel. You know, I don't really like to associate with either any group when it comes to politics or any of that kind of crap. But there is usually one side that you kind of agree with more than the other, but you don't agree with everything. And it's not like when that group says something, then like I have to ride with everything they say. Right. No, it doesn't work that way. But it is true. Like the people that like these groups, they're doing this to make us fight. And we're all falling for it. Like we know for a fact that they're doing this shit to make us fight. Like they do this on purpose. Like you said, that all it does is it makes us fight between ourselves when we should be focused on them. Because they're the ones that are doing all of this to us. You know?
The bottom line is We are all the same.
Wake up, people.
But we are all the same.
Yeah.
We all want to be what? Happy.
We want our kids to be
we
happy.
We all want our kids to be happy.
We want our family and our friends to do well.
We all want the
same things. It doesn't matter what side you're on.
Yes. And just because you believe one thing and I believe something different doesn't mean that we can't be friends.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Love one another. Be kind to one another. Support each other. And everything else will just fall into place.
That's right. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for listening to the show.
Yes, yes. We love you guys.
Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. If you guys would like to buy us a coffee, you guys can do that at buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. If you guys want to give us a call and send us a message, leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on the show.
Yes.
You can call us at 480-912-5128. Got anything before we go?
That is it. Thank you all for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together.
Bye.
Bye.